Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure and privilege to be invited here to introduce some of our works on the global water challenges. And when I discussed with Professor Milan Dimkic, and I was asked to talk about two main subjects. One is UNESCO IHP Intergovernmental Council, where I have been chairperson and concerned with the establishment of Category 2 Center, and also 7th World Water Forum, which will be held in my hometown in 2015. So I selected those two subjects to introduce you. So I don't know whether I can manage within 30 minutes, but if it's going to take more than 30 minutes, I will omit some part. First, I will talk about the global water issues, which you know very well. And also next, IHP and its Intergovernmental Council activities. And some of you know already about IHP, but I will introduce what IHP and also the structure and also program, and also particularly some, the IHP ACE phase, which in our bureau prepared by the last June. And then if time is allowed, I will introduce some IHP Category 2 Center in Korea, because this category center is like water security and sustainable management. Here, Serbian Category 2 Center is sustainable development. So it's becoming a kind of a sister relationship, Category 2 Center. And also the IHP ACE main theme is water security. So this center designated as water security and sustainable management. And then later, last part is the 7th World Water Forum preparation processes, where I am one of the organizers, and I would like to have some connection with this area, and particularly with the Serbian organizations. As you may know, we've been living with water from the beginning of this planet, and so humanity is inseparably linked to water. So perhaps these days we have a serious water problems, like only we have 2.5% of world water is fresh water. The others all, the salt water, and all, we cannot use it for our, purpose. And also less than 1% of fresh water is available for use. And today, around 3,800 cubic kilometers of fresh water is withdrawn annually from the world's lakes, rivers, aquifers. And also over the next 25 years, 1/3 of the world's population will experience severe water scarcity. You can see here, world scarcity and also stress areas are mainly in African region. That's why UNESCO is more concentrated on the African region to help and to develop water and sanitation problems. And when I say general, the water problems, we have a very intensive and increased economic activities, and also population increase very rapidly. So by this factor, the water use increased, and also pollution problem is becoming big problem. But we have a very finite and vulnerable water resources. By this kind of situation in the world, we have a big competition and the conflict for water in local or national and international basis. So we have a lot of problems in present or future water period. Like since 1900, the total human water abstraction has increased by a factor of 6.5 as a result of both population increase and increased water per capita. And population growth and increased degradation of freshwater ecosystem is making water increasingly scarce in many parts of the world. And globally, as you may know, 1.2 billion people remain without access to an adequate water supply, and 2.4 billion people are without access to improve the sanitation. And also, at the moment, 3 or 4 million people die by the waterborne disease every year. So we need some, the measures to cope with this kind of situation. So primary goal of future water resources management must be, to maximize the long-term economic and social benefit to be gained from freshwater, while at the same time conserving the ecosystem processes and the biodiversity. So we are like always saying, sustainable management and the save water resources. So the distribution of water resources is, varying according to the region, climate, and the topography, geology, hydrology, and upstream water usage, and historical water usage, all come into play in determining availability of water in any given region. But when look at the world distribution of water, mainly, as I said, in this area, that's also Africa and India, on some Southeast Asia, we have a very lack of water storage, or water resources. And also, as I said, we have 2.2 billion people has a lack of adequate drinking water. This was declared by WHO 2002, and also 2.4 billion people has lack access to significant the sanitation equipment. So at the moment, the water and the sanitation is a main key element which we should solve for our people in the world. So what's the problem in the world? What's the global water issues? First, the climate. Just we heard about the climate change, climate variability. Now we are having big problem. Not only water scarcity, but also too much water, which gives disasters, and we have severe damage. Like in USA, we heard a very super storm, very new word. We have heavy storm or just a storm, but we now have a super storm. And stratospheric ozone depletion, and also the forest, wetland, and habitat destruction, and the loss of biodiversity, and also encroaching desertification, and the contamination of ground and the surface water resources, and the non-renewable resource use, and the regional water food scarcity, and the population growth, and urbanization, and the transboundary water resources conflict. Well, 2 years ago, we had a very big meeting in UNESCO about transboundary aquifers. Not only transboundary surface water, we have also transboundary aquifer problems becoming big problem in the world. And the lack of sanitation and the protected water supplies at the local level. And as you can see the picture, some water pollution problem, and the flood, and the drought, everywhere in the world. And also, we have a challenge for typical water management. So like insufficient financial resources. We don't have enough water to cope with these, the water problems. And also inadequate institutional arrangement. We need some governance. And the inadequate human resources, technology, lack of sector coordination and system view, and the lack of political commitment. That's why when we have a World Water Forum, we have a political, the session, in order to bring all political high personnel and to understand how water is important for people. And insufficient stakeholder involvement, and inadequate operation and the maintenance, and the poor education capacity to manage, and the poor integration of all factors affecting water supply and the demand, the quality, and the quantity, and insufficient information and communication as well. So, and also the exotic invasive species, pollution, and the over-allocation of water in dry period, and the groundwater withdrawals, groundwater protection, non-point pollution problems, and supply and demand change uncertainty. So for this kind of global water issues, we need some way. That's why UNESCO created IHP. You know, IHP is a kind of UNESCO intergovernmental scientific cooperative program in hydrology and water resources. And this was established in 1975 as the single intergovernmental program or UN system devoted to scientific study of the hydrological cycle and to forming strategic policy for the sustainable management of water resources. So IHP was conceived as an evolving program, ready to adapt to society's need and transforms. And this program is implemented in phases of 6 years, and also in order to remain prompt in identifying new emerging problems and alerting decision makers and rising public awareness and providing the necessary resources to respond with actions. Today, the integrated water resource management is key the item to be adopted for the water sustainable management. So this is kind of a cultural and ethical challenges. So IHP is a multidisciplinary program at the forefront assuming these challenges. To this end, IHP is prominent UNESCO vehicles for meeting the UN Millennium Goals. Actually, the IHP is the most, the biggest intergovernmental organization under the UN systems. Around 190 member states are working together as in forms of IHP national committees. This morning, Professor Jovan Pospik, is the chairman of Serbian IHP National Committee, and he did the whole, this area 2 problem. So in the IHP, we try to prevent more than 3 million people from dying each year of waterborne diseases, and also try to curb the exploitation of water resources, and also in some, we are going to ensure everyone has access to clean drinking water. So I don't need to structure the UNESCO. And also we work through the IHP national committees and IHP programs, working groups, and also the building bridges between the people and the stakeholders and the countries, and the technical, with distributing technical publications and the scientific and the applied research, and also building the capacities and the wider the dissemination of information through IHP works. So far, we had until IHP 8th phase. In the beginning, for the solution of water problems and protection of men's welfare and the quality of life, UNESCO resolution in 1969 created the International Hydrological Decade. That's from 1965 to 1974. So that period was a kind of experimental basins and the world catalog of very large plant and the world water balance and the water resources of Earth. And then from 1975, IHP began. So IHP 1, 2, 3, and until IHP 7. At the moment, we are under the IHP 7th phase, start from 2008 to 2013 under the theme of main water dependencies, systems under stress, and the societal responses. And from 2014 until 2019, actually it extended 2 years more. 2021 is IHP 8th period. That's main theme is water security, responses to local, regional, and the global changes. So at the moment, IHP 7th, and with 5 themes, and also cross-cutting, programs like Health and Friend, and we are having several associate IHP programs. Through these things, and we are having hierarchical research and education and the transfer of knowledge, capacity building, and the water resources management. And last June, when we had the Intergovernmental Council, we finalized, and all member countries agreed, endorsed the IHP's eighth theme, which is water security, responses to local and regional and global challenges. Actually, UNESCO IHP created water security, even though many organizations use the IHP security word, but officially, as a whole, the world's program, IHP security was adopted, and also following Rio 20 meeting, then water security became the world, the key issue of water management in the world. We have 6 teams, and under this team, and you can see the team 1 to team 6, and also we have every 5 focal areas under each team, and also we have the cross-cutting areas. First one is integrated water resource management, and the second one is a transboundary or shared waters. Third one is human dimensions. And the fourth one is governance, and the fifth one is global change. So all important, the theme and the focal areas, and also, the cross-cutting areas. So from the year after next year, we are going to concentrate, whole world are going to concentrate on these water security problems. So I will not go in details about the focal areas, and this one all adopted by the member countries, and also under the name of IHP, the activities, we have water-related centers and chairs, by which Serbia is establishing the category center on the sustainable development and the adaptation to climate change, and then at the moment 18 is becoming 25, and every country also, not every, many countries have, the chairs as well. Then I would like to go into the, just briefly on the Category 2 Center in Korea, because this Category 2 Center was at the, was proposed and endorsed at the same time with the, the Serbian Category 2 Center together. So it's a kind of, our bureaus and our intergovernmental council's activity. At that time, we adopted, the endorsed 4 category centers. I will talk some Korean, the water situation. Actually, Korea has about annual precipitation is about 1,270 millimeters per year, but it comes, as you can see, right-hand side, we have only within 3 or 4 months precipitated. So the other periods we have some water problems. Also, population's density is very high. So when we talk about the water resources per capita, Korea becomes the water stressed country. So we have a flood, drought, and water pollution problems. So when we look at the water resource development timeline in Korea, in 1965-80, it was a kind of multi-purpose and irrigation dams, and then from 1981-90, and the multi-regional water supply systems, and the 1991 and the 2000 year, and a period of environmental awareness, and also sewerage and waste treatment systems, and also then from 2001, we are doing some eco-friendly development and management of water resources. And now, from 2010, we are having sustainable water management, more concentrations on, water and green growth, and also river restoration works along the whole the rivers in the country. So when you look at some, the eco-friendly management, between 1990 and 2000 year, and we have kind of the waterworks, and also the sewage and the life expectancy, almost the same tendency of increase. And also we had some eco-friendly management, like number 1, number 2, 3, and also we have the natural fishways everywhere. So when you look at some example of river works, Pearl River project, and living together with river water with sharing experiences, and also with the green policy, we constructed the biggest the Lake tidal power plant in the west coast of the country, and then we have some canal navigation project in Seoul area in Han River Basin. And we almost the first stage of a Pearl River project is one example of a Pearl River project for the river control, flood control, and the water usage, and also some the water shadow management. And by this kind of situation, the Korean government proposed the establishment of Category 2 Center under the auspice of UNESCO and endorsed by IHP Intergovernmental Council during the 20th session in June 2012. This IWSSM means International Center on Water Security and Sustainable Management. This will be located in K-Water Institute in Daejeon. This institute is the biggest semi-governmental organization in Korea. And also this will be dedicated to achieve the goals of UNESCO IHP by pursuing the commitment to research and recommendation on sustainable water security and resource management, and also capacity building and technology transfer in water sectors. And we have a mission, vision, and goals of strategy. Well, I wouldn't go in details, but maybe by next year or the year after, we will establish it formally. And also before the World Water Forum, we will have some connection with this Category 2 Center, and also with the other countries' Category 2 Center together to collaborate each other. And also in the World Water Forum, perhaps we can make a kind of the joint session or joint program in the World Water Forum. There are several objectives. One is research, education, training programs, and so forth. So main objective 3, the category 1, research, and also the education, and also information network. So I will not go in details on this, and also particularly this institute will have a close relation with UNESCO IHP, like IHP pages 7 and 8, and also friend help and other associated programs. And also solution and adaptation and the governance and also transfer problems. Then I would like to go into the briefly 7th World Water Forum. And actually this 7th World Water Forum, so far we had 6 World Water Forum. It started from 1997 in Marrakesh, Morocco. Second one is Netherlands in Hague, 2000 year. And third one, Kyoto in Japan. Fourth one, Mexico. Fifth one, Istanbul, Turkey. And the last one was in March, Marseille, France. And when we look at the number of countries and the participants in the World Water Forum, in the beginning we had only 5,700 participants. And it increased. So last March in Marseille, we had 173 countries and 35,000 participants. So in 2050, it was decided last year, November this time, middle of November in Rome, and all, World Water Council governance had a vote and unanimously support to hold this 7th World Port Forum in Daegu, which is my hometown. So I would like to, organize effectively. I'm not whole, but I am the one of the organized. So even though we have a very, short history, 1997 to 12, and I think it's very successful. So as I told you, we have 6 fora, and also every 3 years by the World Water Council, and in the cross cooperation with the hosting country as well. So when we proposed the 7th World Forum, we proposed as a main theme as future water together. This means we would like to go together for future water, because in the Marseille meeting we had many solutions. So out of this solution, in 2015, we would like to have some way of implementation. So as you can see here, from Morocco and come to 7th here and in Korea. So 7th Forum aims to lay foundation on how to share and implement the solution. To be said, to have been said forth at the 6th World Water Forum. So in this regard, the 7th Forum proposes the future water together as the overarching theme, which the global community as a whole moving together into a better future of water and the green nature. Well, there is the argument, even though we gathered together already from 1972 until 2012, still we don't have any solution. Even though in Marseille, many solutions suggested, but still, water problems existed. So how to solve? Anyway, we have to collect our knowledge, our experience through this kind of a big event, and perhaps I would like to have, some way of implementation, our solution in 2015. So when those main themes, the sub-themes will be discussed later. Now, if this is what we proposed, but during the kick-off meeting will be maybe next year, April or May, and after that we will have a stakeholder consultation meeting. So through this meeting, whole world stakeholders will come. Please come, at that time, and then we discuss what theme better. The future work together is not fixed one. Or we can, change, or we can adopt a better expression. And also we can make some, other detailed themes for implementation. So in the, our, suggestion, we had 5 sub-themes suggested. First one is encouraging the further investment of water management. And the second one is seeking wisdom through new water science and technology, and advancing responses to future challenges, and enhancing good governance, and preparing for the post-MDGs. 2015 is a very important year. Millennium Development Goal is finishing in 2015. We need to create some way under the UN system, what we are going to do for water problems. So in the, this 7th World Forum in 2015, we have to think of, we have to create world some, the agreement, consensus, and our declaration. And so we are going to have a sharing vision and action for future. So particularly, so far we had normally, thematic process and the political process and the regional process. But in Korea, Korean side suggested to establish a science and technology process. This is quite a new one, more interesting. Because when we go, many teams and discuss sessions, but we couldn't see real advanced science and technology. So we have to create a good process to see what kind of, international advanced science technology proposed here, and what we can adopt for future implemented. And another, the Citizens Forum and the Water Expo as well. So like thematic process, regional process, political process, and the science technology process, Citizens Forum and the Water Expo and the fairs. And also we propose others, program like a Business Pro Forum and the Water Hope Fund and the Meet and Make Together Festival and the participatory event and such as International Water Musical Festival and also fountain donation boxes or Run Forward. Perhaps we will have a marathon for water, and also ubiquitous World Water Forum by the the advanced IT internet technology. Then we can have a kind of ubiquitous World Water Forum directly at the site. This World Water Hope Fund and also Ubiquitous Fund maybe is maybe interest. The organization, we have a national committee and the Water Council, but the main policy and the highest body is the International Steering Committee. So this International Steering Committee will decide the whole the policy. Under this International Steering Committee, we have, as I told you, thematic, regional, political, science, technology, and the grassroots and the citizen forum, and then secretariat. So also national committee from all of the part of the country, and so future works to do is each process will make a commission, thematic process and the political process, and whole the Korean side and the international side have a joint commission, and also various meetings, conference will be held from now on. Already we had last September, I organized one international forum where Professor Millan came and he presented very nice keynote speeches. And when you look at the proceedings at the end of picture, you can see that the picture. So next year we will have a kick-off meeting, perhaps April or May, and the stakeholders meeting end of next year or the beginning of 2014, and another regional local authorities meeting, and also each agenda processes preparation meetings, and also like International Water Forum next year again, and the year after next again until 2015. So this kind of series meeting is a kind of a series of World Water Forum. World Water Forum is not only for 2015. When it is decided to hold in Daegu, Gyeongbuk in Korea, then they say, the World Water Council people say, Daegu, Gyeongbuk become the world capital of water for 3 years until finished 2014. So for the successful 7th World Water Forum, we need organization and the secretariat, the teams, commission, the task force, and working groups, researches, pre-activities, press and website, logistics. And also, therefore, we need your active participation and the close collaboration to have a successful meeting in the future. I would like to invite all of you to come Korea and contribute and with your own interesting themes and subject. And I hope this 2015 meeting becoming a kind of a meeting for real implementation, real solution for international world. Thank you very much for attention.